what is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So this is part 16 of the beef ravioli run as far as this is going to happen. So within this particular episode, we're going to exit the ice dungeon here and get towards the next segment of like the final dungeon, particularly going against these bosses one by one within these pitches as far as this format is going to happen. So the last boss was the stone golem, which was the rendition of the goal. I really don't remember his full bound the beginning half of the game, and pretty much like the first 3 dungeons with, for the most part, just the pitch as far as saying. I guess I remember in certain portions there being like some sort of skull dragon for like the desert pyramid and pitches like that, but kind of looking after it, I guess it was kind of an ice golem that was part of the ice pyramid as far as what's supposed to happen. That's the one I don't remember is full bound within the pitch, but I do remember the volcano being the dragon as far as what's supposed to happen. So it's just in the pitch as far as saying. Now obviously these dungeons here are just like a brief kind of revisit to them. Is not nearly as chaotic as it was back in like the actual saga with getting the crystals. Was just within the pitch as far as saying there's a few fights here and then getting to the boss, and that basically takes care of it. So that's the essence what I suppose that the next few are going to be with getting past like the Wind Tower boss, and then eventually fighting the Dark King. Now, I'm not as full sure if there's going to be a dungeon for the Dark King, but I just going to question the concept as far as to what particularly happens, so we're just going to get towards it here. So in this episode, I think we at least get to the boss, but it's just kind of the concept as far as saying. I wanted to be particular because I realized I was using my old phone for the particular gameplay here. I just would have to kind of say and stuff. I didn't want to, so I used my newer phone for like the pitch and getting like the next footage within it because I didn't want to have what happened where it just shorts out and I defeat the boss without showing the footage, like what almost happened last time. So it's just within the pitch as far as saying we're going to get towards some of this here. Yeah, just basic conduct, just get some good goodies going within some of those type of aspects. It's the same sort of fare, like I was saying in the community post, if you saw that recently, it's the same sort of pitch as far as me just saying and stuff, that eventually once, I estimate that there will be at least one more of these beefy type ones with an aspect of it here, depending upon how much gameplay is left. But this is, I mean, this one's 10 minutes right here, and then the next gameplay segment that finishes off the dragon boss is pretty much like another 8 or 10 or 11 minutes somewhere in there, so that'll surface soon enough. I just looked at the format as far as saying, just getting towards it. Yeah, some good stuff here. These particular, like, 3-headed dogs, the Cerberus type dudes, they're actually pretty, like, they actually wiped me out a couple of times within the pitch behind. I was kind of within, I don't know if I filmed that, but it's kind of within the pitch as far as saying that there was, like, a particular playthrough where I was playing this where those guys actually defeated me a couple of times within the pitch behind us. It's kind of the format as far as saying that it's just the pitch as far as getting towards like the concept of like, I mean, you do have to be particular. Maybe I don't remember. I can't remember as full bound what happened within the pitch behind it, but it's just the pitch as far as saying that those particular enemies are kind of I mean, it is reached a point. I do kind of feel like level 30, and I mean, the game seems to think that level 34 is a high enough ratio to be able to tackle the final dungeon, but still within the pitch as far as saying that you pay attention to the concept that these particular enemies, depending upon what they do, I mean, it's definitely good to only have one enemy to attack, because particularly, I don't know if it was this boss or if it was the stone golem that gave me problems. It's just kind of the pitch as far as saying that it's just the format. Like, the stone golem was definitely pretty powerful, but I think the dragon obviously was pretty powerful as well. So it's just the pitch that you have to get into like a rhythm. That's the key towards it, is just having like a good rhythm of just attacking with one character, having the heal spell for one, and then attacking with that same character and then healing yourself within the pitch as far as this format's going to happen. So it's just the pitch as far as getting towards the format of just having to, I mean, there may be like the occasional turn or something like that where you can attack with both characters, but I think for the most part, considering that usually the strength of some of these enemies is pretty rough within the aspects, it's kind of the tinge as far as saying that it's just pretty much one character out of the 2 will probably get to attack like the main enemy. But by this stage, you should just be using the white spell pretty often. I think that's like one of the strongest spells in the game. I thought about using like Meteor and some of those type of ones, but for the most part, it feels like white is the strongest spell within the pitch as far as just being able to blockade them with a pretty whopping type hit. And it's just kind of the pitch as far as saying it works effectively well in the dragon boss. I question, like, I mean, I think within the these magic spells do have the, I realize within the pitch, it's kind of I don't want to say it's drab to watch the same attack over and over again, but the pitch behind it is if you do use other attacks and it doesn't damage them, and just kind of waste a turn as far as getting them to be able to attack you within the format as far as saying that it you basically have to start over and lose some of your items. That's the main thing. I mean, I want to get this game beaten already. I mean, it's been 7 years now. It's been since 2018 that this save file has been around. So it's just going to pitch as far as saying we got to get this taken care of. I realized this for like the ratio. I probably would have beaten this probably back in 2022 if I had had a little bit extra gumption. But I don't know. For some reason, I got jet lagged in 2022 as well. Don't know what was going on with that particular format of it. But we're going to get this game beaten here. There's really only 2 more bosses. I'm going to get to that gameplay within a relative soon fashion within some of those I pitched. So it's just the format as far as saying. But yeah, those three three-headed dogs, which I guess there would have been nine heads of dogs to fight as far as those pitches can happen. So 3 Cerberuses, triple trouble within some of those formats. But just being able to say within those pitches that, particularly, that wasn't the boss. It felt like that was an annoying enemy, and like I said, I don't know if I got defeated in that particular battle. It's just a pitch as far as saying that it's paying attention that we do have to. I was kind of getting confused in this particular dungeon as far as those fairs can happen, but I figured it out as far as those fairs kind of went. So yeah, it's just the pitch behind it. So yeah, it's just I was questioning if I could use like the hook shot to be able to attack that enemy from over there, but it's not what you do. You basically fight that. That's an enemy that you have to fight once you defeat the boss as far as what's first going to happen. It's just a shortcut to get out of here once you defeat the boss. It's kind of the pitch. So, yeah, just a little bit of backtracking within the format of it, but I do figure it out. I think we do at least get to the boss by the end of this episode, something like that. But I mean, it's not so much rocket science, this particular area. It's just kind of the pitch that it just is mildly confusing, just kind of a mild kind of brain bender to kind of have within those aspects. It's just like, hey, do you remember some of these segments? It's kind of a brief reminder that this game is kind of somewhat of a douche at times. I mean, not douche in terms of being like a horribly stupid game, but just the pitch is just kind of like a kick in the rear as far as just being a douchebag about it. But it's just kind of the pitch as far as saying, so that's the tone. But not really necessarily figure out is what to do with it, so this is kind of the format. But and then I finally did. It's just kind of the pitch as far as getting at least I think I did within the pitch behind it. So that's the fair yeah. Yeah, I think that was the concept. That just kind of happens through the format of it. So yeah, but the boss is just right over there as far as those pitch can happen. So it's just the basic aspects. So I look after it just within the format. So yeah, this is just I mean, there's still a healthy portion of this game left over. I would think if you're thinking that we're in like the home stretch of the game, let's say we're definitely near that bend as far as those pitch can go, but it's not within the aspect as far as saying there's not any life left in this game. There still is a little bit. Probably it's a good fashion that if you have a pizza being cooked right now, something like that, just there's probably at least another 50 minutes left in this game, something like that, including, I mean, yeah, there's, like I said, there's still 3 more boss fights, including, like, the dragon boss that you're going to see in the next episode. So there's 3 more big boss fights to get to, plus the credits and some fairs like that. And I just would have to say, in terms of, like, what to expect with the ending, I just had to say kind of within the format as far as saying, I mean, I imagine that the ending, I've seen it. I've seen, like, at least Capri Sun or some of those type folks beat this particular game, but I just don't remember because it's been since like probably 2013 or 2014, somewhere in there. But it's just kind of within the format as far as saying that just paying attention to those pitches about it, that's just kind of the main fare. So I just look after within the tone that I don't think like this character is going to go off and like I don't know, it's just a pitch. I mean, it's just one of those typical type formats. I mean, you get the fact that Zone is probably just going to save the world and then just go back to his hometown, and it's just probably like within the same format like you would think when you think of like a Zelda game or something like that. When you think of like those games, I mean, within certain depictions, sometimes it depicts that Link becomes like a king or something, but it's kind of within the format. He typically just goes back to his village and then, you know, just lives happily ever after within those formats kind of it. But it's just kind of the pitch as far as saying that's probably what's going to happen with Zone. Zone's like the same sort of conduct as Link, just talks. So I'd say he's just a character that talks within some of those type formats. That's the pitch as far as what's going to happen. This kind of spilled over in like the aspects of like the end of the episode. So I just would say subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night and stay tuned for some more of these. They're on the way.